Hello to the boxing fans around the world. Thanks for joining me once again here on Talkin for another episode of Boxing News Today, courtesy of our friends across the pond at boxing247.com. Going to start you off with the big fight night that took place over in Newcastle on the weekend, where we saw a WBO middleweight champ, Savannah, the Silent Assassin Marshall, remain undefeated as she headlined the Utilita Arena in knockout fashion against Femke Herman, setting up the biggest fight in women's boxing history against the WBC, IBF, and WBA middleweight champ, Clarissa Shields, who's also undefeated with 12-0 record, 2 knockouts. Super good fight. It was profiled by both Cedric and Mike yesterday on Sunday, so I won't go into the fight in greater detail, other than to say that Femke got knocked out. In the chief support bout that took place that day, we have one of our favorites here on the channel, Florian Marcoux, also remained undefeated and defended his IBF International welterweight title in his toughest test to date, for sure, against British Commonwealth titleist Chris Jenkins, who's now 23-5-3. Marcoux's record now stands at 11 wins, no defeats, and 1 draw with 7 knockouts. Elsewhere on that fight card, as I mentioned last week, Zach Chelli, who's now 11-1-1 with 6 knockouts, returned to boxing duties for the first time in a year with a hard-earned stoppage over late opponent Jack Kilgannon, who's now 11-1, also with 3 knockouts in the 6th round, handing him his first defeat in the process. A clash of heads occurred in the 6th round, with Chelli coming off worst with a huge cut in his hairline, but the cut appeared to annoy him, and he unleashed a ferocious overhead right, knocking Kilgannon out towards the end of the round. Good stuff. Elsewhere on that card, we saw British boxing latest breakout star Brad Rhea, who's 13-0 with 5 knockouts, adding yet another victory to his journey with a defeat over Lucas Natafaluma, who's now 20-5 with 10 knockouts. Quick little wrap up of the card. Hailing from a boxing family, Luke Cope, who's 4-0 with 0 knockouts, was victorious in his return to the ring, beating journeyman Lee Connolly over 4 rounds. Following last October's upset defeat to Kirsty Babington, Newcastle's own April Hunter returned to winning ways with a 60-54 unanimous decision victory over Esther Konica, who's 1-15-1 draw with 0 knockouts. Switching camps to join forces with Peter Fury and Savannah Marshall, Hunter will be looking to build on this victory and continue her young career in the right direction. Did I mention her record 5-1? Did I mention that? 5-1, not bad. Alrighty, elsewhere we saw undefeated British cruiserweight Michael Webster, who's 7-0 with 5 knockouts, gaining his 5th victory over Erdogan Kadriga, who's 17-5 with 11 knockouts. Also, we saw Georgia O'Connor, who's 2-0, continuing her young professional career with boxer as she defeated Erica Alvarez, who's now 2-6. Formerly with Team GB and a 5-time national champion as an amateur, Gio, as she's known, Georgia O'Connor, used her boxing ability to convincingly beat the Argentine earlier on the undercard. Hosea Stewart faced the well-seasoned heavyweight journeyman Phil Williams earlier in the night at Utilita Arena. Stewart, the 24-year-old, took 4 scheduled rounds to defeat Williams, but made sure he did so with a convincing unanimous decision that the referee scored 40-36. And we also saw Matty Harris, who's now 2-0, make easy work in his 2nd professional fight as a young heavyweight. He crushed Matt Metzis, who's now 0-5 in the 1st round with a beautifully timed right uppercut that will be remembered as the most brutal knockout of the night. Good stuff over in Newcastle, England. Coming back across the pond to Dearborn, just outside Detroit, we saw Detroit's undefeated lightweight Eric De Leon making press return to the ring against Colombia's Heavenson Herrera. Fighting in the main event of the Salida Promotions Detroit Ball event in the Lincoln Ballroom in the Ford Community Performing Arts Center. De Leon took only a minute to size up the South American before moving in with a blistering two-fisted assault that left Herrera down for the count at 2 minutes 48 seconds of round number 1. Elsewhere on that card, I was looking forward to this. In a battle of undefeated 175-pound sluggers, WBC number 9, IBF number 15, WBO number 14, light heavyweight, Ali Ismailov, who's now 8-0 with 6 knockouts, showed why he's a world contender in just 7 fights with a brutal hammering of Chile's Abraham Tebes, who's now 7-1 with 3 knockouts. The pulverizing fists of Ismailov turned the South American's face to a swollen mask as the rounds progressed. The wild swinging Tebes tried hard, but Ismailov is in another league and headed for a world championship fight in the near future. The official verdict was technical knockout, as Tebes rightly decided to stay on the stool before the round began. Trainer John David Jackson had Ismailov looking like a potential future star. Someone who we've reported on quite often and interviewed on Talkin Fight via Israel, now trained out of Las Vegas. Super flyweight David Alaverdian, who's now 6-0 with 5 knockouts, made his United States fighting debut, a successful one over Hungary's Jano Tonte, who's now 9-10 with 8 knockouts. A perfectly timed left hook dropped Tonte in round 2, and the follow-up barrage ended matters. Alaverdian appears to be the real thing. His Matrix-like performance had 18-fight veteran Tonte struggling to land a shot, while his own shots elicit oohs and ahs from the large crowd in attendance. Referee Gerard White called off the slaughter at 1 minute and 15 seconds. Yoza. Elsewhere on that card, undefeated Grand Rapids, Michigan-based Joshua Pagan is now 2-0, ended his schedule for lightweight against winless Calvin Glover, who's now 0-5 out of Chicago at 1 minute 36 seconds of the first round. In an 8-round middleweight showdown, undefeated Timur Kerafov, 13-0, 7 knockouts, made quick work out of once promising veteran Cleotas Pendarvis, who's now 21-10-2, knocking him out at 2 minutes 2 seconds of round number 2 with a thunderbolt left hand. An 8-round heavyweight showdown to open the show broke out an old-fashioned slugfest between heavyweight prospect and current WBC USNBC silver heavyweight champ Brendan Moore, who's now 11-0 with 7 knockouts, and clever veteran Curtis Harper, who's now 13-7 with 9 knockouts of his own. The undefeated Moore suffered a serious cut over his left eye from an accidental headbutt in round 2, and the blood streamed down his face, seeming to energize Harper to become even more aggressive. What followed was an entertaining back-and-forth battle, with Moore landing more often with more accurate shots, and Harper landing enough right hands to keep things very interesting throughout. Harper lost a point for hitting on the break in round 4 that he protested vehemently. In the end, the blood-soaked Moore came away with a hard-fought unanimous decision by wider-than-action scores of 79-72, 80-71, and 80-71. Good stuff down in Detroit. Well, Dearborn, near Detroit. Elsewhere, let's have a quick look here at the Connecticut Convention Center. Headline, a long day of amateur professional boxing in front of his hometown fans for the first time. Unbeaten Hartford super lightweight McQuan Williams, now 17-0-1, earned his 8th career knockout win by defeating New Jersey's Tyrone Lucky. Perhaps he should be unlucky, lucky. Anyway, 15-7 forced his record via a 5th round stoppage. Elsewhere on that card, the co-main was good as advertised at Springfield, Massachusetts featherweight. Josh Orta, who's now 9-0, eked out a 57-57, 59-55, 58-56 majority decision win over tough Puerto Rican challenger Jayron Santiago to keep his perfect record intact. Springfield welterweight Jalen Renault, 8-0, also remained unbeaten with a hard-fought unanimous decision win over Philadelphia's Evancy Dixon. In the opening bout, Hartford bantamweight Angel Gonzalez, 9-0, kept his perfect record intact with a decisive yet competitive unanimous decision win over 46-fight veteran Ira Terry, who's now 27-20, fighting out of Memphis, Tennessee. Good stuff in Connecticut. Right on. We're having a good weekend of fights here. But the big one for you long-time listeners of Talking Fight, that I'm happy to report here. Remember, we reported last week and the week prior that there was a big elite boxing championship taking place down in Ecuador. Among the various countries competing, fighters arrived from Argentina, Aruba, Barbados, Bermuda, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Ecuador. There was even a fair chance team: Guatemala, Guyana, Haiti, Honduras, Mexico, Panama, Paraguay, Puerto Rico, St. Lucia, St. Martin, Trinidad and Tobago, and United States of America. And did I mention Canada? Most particularly in the women's division. In the 54 kilogram category, Scarlett Delgado came out victorious and won her battle, claiming a gold medal at the AMBC American Elite Boxing Championships among the many competitors from around the world who showed up to fight on that particular tournament. Fantastic stuff for Scarlett. Congratulations to her. As we all know, she used to have her own show called The Female Fist here on Talking Fight before leaving to go train for this very competitive event. And you can find out much more detail on the boxing247.com website. It looks like to be very, very entertaining and very competitive. And congratulations again to Scarlett. Let's go back around the world over to Spain, where Ricketts Bolotniks earned a fantastic win on Friday night as he defeated previously unbeaten Hervoje Sepp, and that was taking place in Barcelona. The two men went head-to-head at the Palau Olympic Vall d'Hebron in Spain on a matchroom boxing event that was broadcast live on DAZN. It saw Bolotniks, who's now 19-6-1 with 8 knockouts, return to action for the first time since his fight with Joshua Buatsi last summer. Now turning his attention to Sepp, who's now 11-1, who had yet to taste defeat in his 11 professional fights. Well, now he has. Despite being the underdog, it was a superb performance from Bolotniks as the Lion dictated proceedings throughout the majority of the 8 rounds. It went the distance with the judges scoring it 78-75, 78-75, and 77-75 as Bolotniks claimed the unanimous decision victory and returned to winning ways. I'd mentioned the big boxer event in Newcastle. Prior to that event happening, having reached the pinnacle of amateur boxing success, Olympic heroines Lauren Price and Kiris Ardingstall will now enter the professional ranks under the boxer banner. With fellow Olympians Clarissa Shields, Caroline Dubois, and Tash Jones in attendance, Price and Ardingstall were unveiled as the newest signings to the roster today at a press conference held in Newcastle's Utilita Arena prior to their big event, which was headlined, as we just said, by WBO World Middleweight Champion Savannah Marshall. Putting an exclamation point, quite frankly, on women's boxing and how competitive it is becoming. The signing of Price and Ardingstall to exclusive long-term promotional agreements confirms Boxer as the home as the world's strongest stable professional female boxers, and Sky Sports as the biggest platform for the women's side of the sport. That's debatable, but whatever. Born and raised in Wales, Price was an outstanding athlete from a young age and achieved success across several sports before deciding to focus exclusively on boxing. She played professional football, for example, for several years with Cardiff City, and also captained the Welsh under-19 national team. The crown and glory of her amateur career came at the 2020 Summer Olympics when she won a gold medal for Great Britain in the middleweight division. In recognition of her incredible achievements, Price was appointed member of the Order of the British Empire, that's MBE, in 2022 New Year Honours List. Ardingstall, a gunner in the Royal Horse Artillery, also medaled at the 2020 Summer Olympics, winning bronze in the highly competitive women's featherweight division after a close loss in the semi-finals. A year prior, she'd won 2 medals for England, taking silver in the 2019 European Championships and bronze in the World Championships. Those medals joining a haul which also included gold medals from the 2018 Elite Championships and the 2012 and 2013 Junior Championships. Congratulations to Price and Ardingstall and to Boxer for increasing the profile of women's boxing around the world. Hopefully they'll come over to Canada and take a look at Scarlett Delgado. Alrighty, and finally, keeping on the Boxer tip, that's BOXXER, they have signed an agreement with Bet365. As it reads, Boxer is delighted to announce an extension of its partnership with Bet365, who will continue as the official betting partner of Boxer until 2023. Since the company's inception in 2000 by Denise Coates, CBE, Bet365 has become a global operation offering an unparalleled online betting experience to more than 63 million customers in more than 20 languages. Bet365 is renowned for its innovation of award-winning and industry-leading betting products, having pioneered in-play betting as it continues to break new ground in software innovation. This includes live streaming of 600,000 events per year on its digital platforms and is complemented by its casino, poker, game, and bingo offerings. So I'm sure that just adds to the pots and the purses that are available to all those female fighters they've been announcing, and good stuff for boxing in general. Let's have a quick look here, see if they've made any announcements with respect to Clarissa Shields. Having a quick look here for you fans. Nope. Ben Shalom, CEO of Boxer, said it's been a pleasure working with Bet365 since our launch with Sky Sports in October 2021, and we're delighted to be taking our partnership to the next level. Bet365 is a truly global brand with great values. We look forward to working on some iconic events together in the coming year, yada, yada. All right, thanks very much for joining me. Appreciate it. That's all the news fit to print today. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and if you're on YouTube, join our membership group. It's growing. We'd appreciate it if you would, so we can help pay Tim Witherspoon. And remember to join me today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time as I join Mike Orr at 4 for Knuckle Up. Thank you, and we'll see you later on.